What's the deal, family, man? Welcome back to the Real Distraction channel on YouTube. It's your boy Sean, and we here with another banger for y'all, man. So look, we got AFL, alright? But we're going to take a little different approach today. Today we got Don't Believe in Never, the Michael Long story, alright? So if you don't know, Michael Long is a former AFL player, man. He's Aboriginal descent. And he became a spokesperson for indigenous rights and against racism in sport. All right, so look, let's just keep it 100% honest and real simple, bro. Like, you can look at the AFL and be like, and look at it and see that there's not many darker skinned folks trying to like play in that game. It's very like, you see what it is, you know what I mean? That's just what it is. This is just based on pure objective, like, I see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the internals of what happens in the AFL. I'm just saying it's a sport that got a very common demographic. It doesn't mean anything negative is going on behind the scenes. It's just off the rip of what you look like. It's got a very common demographic, right? Which every sport has this, majority, right? No matter what sport you're talking about, where you go, every sport has this majority. And depending on where you're playing at. But anyways, this is supposed to be a sport about racism in the AFL. I was avoiding this for a while, but now I feel like it's at a point where, we could touch on this, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to touch on it, see what's going on. Don't Believe in Never, the Michael Long story. Let's see what he's talking about. If you want more of this, you already know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff, man. Let's get to it.
Purely because of Michael Long.
He was shy. I can always remember, gosh, doesn't this fella talk?
He was promoted as a really big name and promising player before he came to Melbourne. He came from such a famous family.
Those long bounces, I remember he used to bounce the ball probably 2 metres in front of him.
30 metres out! Oh,
For a guy at the of him.
30 metres out!
No cap. That's the first time I've seen somebody try to block a goal like that. I don't think I've ever seen that in any AFL highlights I've seen of somebody trying to block a goal by diving for it like they're a goalie or something. That's crazy.
For a guy at the time, he was pretty lean, pretty skinny, to be able to win the ball inside but also get on the outside and be very damaging.
Drop punt off his left foot was a really deadly pass and usually hit you on the chest.
He just looked like he was made of rubber, the way he got away from his opponents.
To see his blistering pace and his incredible skills and talents, and he reduced the size of the MCG to that of a basketball court. He was everywhere.
There is absolutely no way that I would have predicted that he would have changed history in several ways, and obviously most notably in 1995.
We believe it's a lockout. People still
MCG.
outside the ground with the game about to start between Collingwood and Essendon, so the crowd inside is something.
God damn, these crowds never cease to amaze me. How many of y'all come out to watch these games? Watching the highlights, it looks super entertaining, but I'm sure live it's obviously way crazier. But the crowds that show up for these games literally amaze me every single time. I know that ain't got nothing to do with this, but that's just real. That's just real talk, bro. There is a video that shows like the biggest stadiums or something like that, or some shit like that. If I should react to that, let me know. It's like all the AFL stadiums or something.
Like 90,000.
It was the first big Collingwood-Essendon Anzac Day game.
That was
game
the
was an
weakest
absolute,
run through the banner I've ever seen in my
The first big
life.
Collingwood-Essendon Anzac Day
The
game.
hell?
The game was an absolute cliffhanger.
Diving on its monk horse, and the ball is locked in here on centre wing.
I tackled Damien and then was abused by the player. It's probably a shock to anyone around the ball.
The Essendon players, particularly Michael, were not happy with the Collingwood ruckman, Damien Monkhorst.
I saw it from the stand, obviously, and where we were sitting. I thought, here we go again. It's not uncommon.
Person saying something about who you are or the colour of your skin, whether he's trying to put you off your game. It's a strike at the heart, the soul of a person. You don't know me. You don't know where I come from.
Hey man, parts of the game be like that, bro. Parts of the game be like that. Whoever dominate, gonna dominate, and if you the minority in the situation, you're gonna be treated just as such. Even it's not fair. It's definitely not fair, but it's definitely a part of the game.
I think there comes a
Shouldn't
time
be, but
in
it
your
is
life
what it
where
is.
you've got to stop this, not only for yourself, for others who come into this game of ours. So obviously when it did happen, you know, I felt really strongly that something needed to happen.
Well, it made everybody...
If y'all keep seeing me lean forward, it's just because I think my camera's going to be over it, like dying, so I'm just trying to make sure.
You feel, at long last, that a major issue that had been swept under the carpet for too long was finally going to be addressed.
We believe that mediation is definitely the best way to resolve these matters.
One of the few positives to come out of this whole affair has been the acceleration in the introduction of the league's code of conduct policy.
It's a time when the AFL proved itself to be a leader in society as well as a leader in sport. And I remember Tony Peake basically handed the task of talking to Indigenous footballers across the code.
Where do you draw the line? Where's it going to stop? It's not only for myself, but for the kids, for all races of people, know that they can't sort of use that language anywhere, not only in the sport.
It did come with a lot of pushback, and it did have several stages before the ultimate result, which was, of course, the racial vilification rule that became a leader not only in Australian sport but in international sport.
Without Longy, you know, working with the late Tony Peake of the AFL, we may not have had Rule 35, and when it started it was very much about dealing with racial vilification, and now it deals with vilification more broadly.
I think that was a really important part of documenting that players had to look at themselves and understand what they're saying, what they're doing, you know.
I guess the biggest cultural change was that what goes on the field no longer stayed on the field, and that rule was dead forever. In these times...
See, you got to be able to talk shit, right? That's our sports. You got to be able to talk your shit, express yourself, get mad, get angry, get happy, get excited, get upset, whatever it is. You got to be able to express these things. But when it comes to disrespecting the person personally at a very, like, deep level too, potentially, that's when it becomes like, you know, like, imagine if two players is battling, right? I can say whatever I want about you, but what I can't say something about is things like your race. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't talk too much shit about where you come from. Family. There's like certain things you just like, that person got a kid, don't talk about that person's kid. Like, you know, there's just certain things you don't like, you don't touch. You know what I'm saying? Because then imagine some of these AFL dudes come to the NBA, right? The NBA is like all black. So imagine one of these AFL dudes or whatever come to the NBA and you getting treated like, oh, you know, white boy this or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's derogatory terms. It's not even that. It's like derogatory or whatever it may be. There's a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Because then that dude gonna feel like he can't do nothing, say nothing, because everybody, he the one dude, two dudes on the team that look like him. You know what I'm saying? So then, damn near in the league. And so, yeah, you don't want that to happen. That person need to be able to say like, yo, this person calling me all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't say nothing to them like that, but they calling me this, and then you address that. So that's not a common thing. That's just real talk, bro. Real talk. Maybe some of y'all ain't gonna agree with me, but that's real talk.
It was just culturally ridiculous that players were allowed to say anything they like to other players.
And trust me, there will be things said that nobody's going to tell anybody else about. But when it gets too deep, cuts too deep, then it's like, hey, somebody got to say something.
Bitterness towards Damien. Actually, it's totally the opposite. He's probably been one to change the course of the game because I wanted him to actually understand what...
Oh, that was the dude. See, conversations, bro. I said this in one of my most popular videos I've ever done was the Adam Calhoun racism video, and in that I talk about these racial boundaries and shit. So if you curious about how I feel about race, for real, go watch my Adam Calhoun racism video.
What he'd said and what he'd done and what he's done off the field to change people's attitude has been enormous for the game. And that's just important, what happened on that day.
Yes, sir.
So much has happened since 1995 that Facebook wasn't born, Twitter wasn't born.
Sadly, this year we've seen, you know, pretty consistent racially motivated trolling against the stars of our game.
That's my guy right there. That's my guy right there. I did a reaction to him too.
And obviously that's not acceptable.
That's Eddie Betts, right? If this ain't Eddie Betts, it's Cyril Rioli, but I'm pretty sure this is Eddie Betts. I could definitely be wrong, though. Please do not drag me.
It's the opposite of what Michael stands for.
I'm really impressed the AFL is devoting so many resources to changing that rule because it's going to be tough.
I've known Michael long since he was a little boy. Who would have thought that he would do the things that he's done? And certainly the long walk, which is an extension of him, shows you what he believed in on the ground and then what he's done after his football career was over.
I got the call that Michael was walking down the Tullamarine Freeway heading to Canberra.
Didn't tell me, no, he didn't tell me. It was spur of the moment and it was the right thing to do.
And the simple question to the Prime Minister was, where was the love for my people?
I think his actions now speak louder than his words, but that long walk has resonated.
This motherfucker pulled some Martin Luther King Jr. shit. That's hard. That's hard. You can't tell me that ain't hard. He done did he was walking by himself. Now he got the people joining him, man. Come on.
With politicians and with the Australian public and the AFL and the football community alike.
When one person starts walking, someone will walk next to them and then someone else will walk again and I'll say, hey, what are you walking for? I'm walking for this. And then someone will say, hey, I believe in that too, I'll walk with you.
That's similar with a lot of other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander leaders that I've met, that they are just sure that they need to do something, and I think it...
The long walk. Damn, they got t-shirts now? This is hard. This is hard. They got the matching hats.
It's one of the things that makes so many of us really proud of our leadership, that they pick up the fight and they take it on, or they get on the road and walk to Canberra.
I think individuals often are the ones that create change because they're the ones who capture the imagination of the public.
His life's really all about helping other people. He's not a person that wants to be out there in the spotlight all the time. He's doing it to benefit younger generations, and and he's done a great job.
When I was young and looking at my dad, how people pull Dad up in the street, that's the same as Michael. When he comes here to the ground, people can't get enough of him. Look at the various things that he's involved in.
I just got so much more respect. Teaching the youth, bro. He over there talking to the youths, bro. That's ultimate, bro, because that's the future. You know what I'm saying? So when you engaging in that, you I'm not just doing this for me or for popularity, but for the kids, bro. That's the future. Those are the ones that need somebody desperately to be inspired by, to be that leader in case they don't got that due to any circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Show that, yo, you can all be better, do this, do that, have these conversations, wop. You know what I mean? Respect, bro.
And the programs which he runs in Darwin at the Michael Long Centre, he is such a pioneer.
You've got to be fair dinkum about making change and this
pioneer.
Exactly. Leaders, bro. These are all leaders in people's lives. Whether they know it or not, they're all leaders, bro. Principals, elders, school captains, coaches, teachers, sometimes friends.
Fair dinkum about making change. And this is a part of coming to Darwin. It starts with education. I've been a part of that failure in the system, and how do I change that to give other kids that next opportunity, whether it's football, whether it's keeping our kids in school or saving lives by actually making our kids make better decisions. I was once one of those kids, glary-eyed, really looking for opportunity or shy. I've been lucky and blessed to give them, hopefully, what we've built here, the centre here, those kids those opportunities.
That's why we write about football, because it throws up some of the most unbelievable stories.
Michael's been an icon. He's spoken of reverently.
And he's quite humble and very loving towards everyone, and very caring. I think we feel blessed that he's the man that he is.
There's sometimes in life you got to step up, get a lead.
My bad if my green screen messing up, y'all.
Maybe my time was back then, 95. Maybe my time was in 2004, a long walk. Maybe it was my time to push for opportunities here for the kids with the leadership centre.
Fancy being one of the greatest AFL footballers that have ever played and then turn into one of the greatest public advocates of decency in our country and have that all rolled into one person.
Can't beat that. Bro, you can't stop greatness, bro. You can't stop greatness. You can't destroy greatness. You can't beat greatness or legends, bro. It is what it is. That shit is forever. Yeah, that shit's forever. Don't believe in never. The Michael Long story. I thought that was mad dope, man. Much respect to Michael Long. Now I want to get into some of his highlights if I got some. So let me know in the comments what's going on. More videos to react to. Like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. Sorry if the green screen started messing up, man. But yeah, that's it, man. Love and appreciate y'all. Catch you on the next one. Peace.